think this is a very important program because the role of a mentor is to promote the growth and the development, of young academics or even a student. Academic field is often a rough terrain. People always underrate it, thinking it's a very simple terrain, but there are a lot of obstructions if actually you are not guided. As you are here as an academic, be it a lecturer or in the library or any other field that make you an academic staff, you have the utmost responsibility to care for teaching and learning and to promote, all such activity, including promoting your own selves. As per the law, we know now that if you are engaged as a lecturer, you need to spend some good 6 years and add up some few publications to become a senior lecturer, and do same to become an ASO prof, and do same after 4 or 5 years to become a full prof. And until you become a full professor, you are not a senior member of the university. The appointment can actually be stopped after some times. So coming up with all these achievements is not easy, but through mentorship, we are promoted on unqualified ground to learn quite a number of things. Through mentorship, we are exposed to what actually guides us in a very fast manner. If we should learn everything through other means, perhaps it might take a longer time to achieve some publication, to achieve some good work, to achieve some promotion. But through mentorship, actually, we get things done easily and faster than it should be. If you are not careful and if you are not well mentored in the university setup, we can join many groups. Sometimes, and unfortunately, group of people who are drinking, group of people who are eating, those who are lazy, those who are this and that. And that may deviate us from our core objective, which is to promote academic activities, learning and teaching, and also ensure the welfare of students. So I want to say on this ground that it's very, very, very welcome to have today on board top librarians that have served in big university and actually have completed their career, and they are here to share their fatherly experience with us. This also comes at the right time when we have just celebrated the Father's Day just 2 days ago. So they are here in light of the same program to impart the little knowledge they have with us, to guide us and to share their experience with us, so that we may learn quickly from those experiences, and then we may never fall again in the traps or the temptation they have gone through. On this note, I think I'm very happy to be part of the program. My colleagues are many, we are almost 100 now. They are so happy to be here. We wish the best to the speakers. May they share with us their experience and may we learn from them. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for welcoming all of us warmly into this program. I hope we are all well settled now into the program, and we are going to have a family affair. I want to, as much as possible, not make this program a very formal one. I want us to have a homely setting. Feel at ease and let us talk, but with all due recognition to authority and the personalities we are dealing with. I want us to have a wonderful time here this morning. So now let me introduce our panelists for the morning. And again, I would want to do the introduction and make it very brief, because along the line, we would run through the things they have done. So please allow me to just introduce them as it's were now. One of our panelists is unable to join us today, but certainly we will recognize him along the line as well. He's in the person of Professor Lemna, who is unable to join us for the meeting today. So the rest that we have Professor Ellis Bedun, who is the former university librarian, University of Ghana, BAM Library. Prof, if you are here, I think I saw you just log in. Please, could you acknowledge your presence here with us? Professor Badu, please, are you able to log in?
I'm having a few challenges. I've logged in all right, but then
we can hear you loud and clear.
It keeps going off and on. I don't know whether Wi-Fi strength is very weak.
But we can hear you very clearly.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but then it keeps on changing. It keeps on, the voice goes down, and sometimes I can't hear you. There are breaks in the speech and all that.
Oh, okay.
But if you can hear me now, then all the better.
Okay, we can hear you very loudly and clearly. Thank you very much for being here. Then we have Alhaji Ibrahim Entry, who is also the former university librarian for University of Development Studies. Alhaji, please, if you are here, can we?
Please, I'm available,
okay.
And it's a pleasure to be part of this program.
Thank you very much, sir. You are welcome. And then Mr. Ensa Mensah, the former university librarian for University of Cape Coast. Please, are you here with us? Are you hearing us clearly? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I hope you are hearing me.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
with you.
Now. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now that all our panelists are here with us, I want to start off with a simple question to them all. Please, we want you to tell us how you are faring now at home in all the COVID era and everything that has happened. We want to know how you are faring. All your kids are here, we are listening to you, but we want to know how you are faring. So let me start off with Mr. Ensa Mensah, since he's the one who had just spoken. Please, how are you faring so far?
Thank you. I'm very well. Let me assure you that I'm doing very well.
Thank you very, very much. I can see Professor Badu. Okay, Professor Badu, please. Can you give us how you are faring so far?
Yes, I physically am very, very well, but then I had a few problems. Yesterday morning, my only brother died in Germany. So I am not in the right frame of mind. However, I was prepared for this meeting. That's why I'm taking part this morning.
That's so bad. For our condolences.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That means we would wish for God's strength for you during these trying times. We pray for strength. How are we doing?
Some few challenges.
Okay, Alhaji, please, are you here with us? Challenges. Alhaji, thank you. Okay, so let's start off with our discussions. First, we want to have the experiences on how they have fared during their times in office, both as fathers and as professional librarians. We want to know how you have managed the whole process as a father and as a librarian when you were in office. So I want to start off with Mr. Intermensa. Please, the panel members, I think you can leave off your microphones. I've made you co-host, so you can leave on your microphones and you can mute and unmute at any point in time. I'm going to mute all others and not allow them to be able to unmute. But the panel members, I have allowed them to be co-hosts, so they can unmute their microphones at any point in time. So, okay, now Alaji is here. Please, Alaji, you wanted to see how you were doing. Could you tell us how you are faring?
Relax at home, but I'm very conscious in the midst of COVID.
Thank you very much. We want everybody to do that. And we are still going to learn from your experiences as well. Please, can you tell us give us a little bit of information on how you have performed as a father in the face of the challenges as a professional person with a lot of other people under you, how you have been able to manage your affairs?
All right. I assume the University Librarian of UDS on May 1, 1993. And so I relocated to Tamale in September, but accommodation was not available for the university librarian. And so I could not move with my family. So I settled them in Accra, but I was very conscious of their education. And I didn't want to immediately relocate them to Tamale. And as a family, we took a decision that we will educate our children in Accra, because we realized that Accra educational facilities are much better. So for the 26 years I was in Tamale, my family was in Accra. But I made sure every month, at least I visited Accra 2 times. My wife was very supportive. The children were very cooperative. And thank God, all of them have been able to pass through the university. So for a time, this is the brief background of my experience as a father with my family.
Thank you very much, Alaji. We will have more questions coming. But for now, let's also listen to Professor Bedu as he tells us how he has also played that dual role as a father whilst working as a full professional plus lecturing at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I have 3 children who were all born in London. 2 of them live there. They are grown-ups now. My daughter is 39 and my son is 33. And then the last one, Ellis Jr., was also born there. However, I decided that he should come and live here so that I can have a good oversight over his life. So he lives here in Ghana. As a father, these in England are children who I have kept contact with.
Looks as if you have lost Prof. So while he tries to connect back, Mr. Ensa, can you please come on and tell us how you have fared as a father and as a university librarian and also lecturing, I know, at that time. So you can hear it from your experiences as well. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good.
Do you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you now.
Host, I think you lost me. You lost me for a while.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you hear me?
You
Yes, we
lost.
can hear you. Okay, Prof. Badu is back.
Yes, I've joined now.
Mensa, please
So
just
can I continue?
Please
Can
continue.
I continue?
Please continue.
Yes. So as a father, I've always kept in touch with the two in London by going there every year to stay with them for at least a month and a half. And then also sending the one here yearly to go and be with them so that the bond would be there. So I have never relinquished my oversight over those in London. There have been times where they've been in financial difficulties where I have to change money into pounds and send to them to sort of help them out. So their upkeep, their welfare, their well-being had been something that had always been on my mind and on my heart. And sometimes, I must be honest, it's affected my work a little bit. Because if one of them was in some sort of trouble, especially the boy, I had to stop whatever I'm doing to go there to sort it out. He got himself involved in some traffic problem and the matter went to court. I had to leave Ghana and then go and make sure that, the matter was quickly sorted out. So, as a father, I've always had them in mind, despite the fact that they don't live here with me. I've always cared for them. I've been in touch with them. I get so much involved in their activities. We speak almost every day. Yesterday, I spoke with a girl. They were calling me because of my brother's death, and they were sharing their sentiments with me. And then even when my brother was alive, they also went to Germany to visit him. So it's been a family, though they don't live in Ghana, but we've always kept in touch. And I've always been, careful the way I handle them. And I've been involved in all their activities. Sometimes when my girl was doing her master's, for example, she used to bring me her work. And then I'll read through, especially her research, right? I had to read through, make corrections, and send them back to her. And so was the boy too. He is a vice principal in a secondary school in London. Whenever he has any academic problems, he sends them to me, and I try as much as possible to do what I can to help him out. So it's though they are not with me, it's been a kind of a nice fatherly link between them and myself, and then my son who lives here with me. So basically, this is how I have linked with my children and bonded so nicely with them.
Thank you so very much, Prof. We have seen that you have also done.
So I think I'm okay now.
Yes, Prof. This time you didn't break, your connection was stable, and we heard you very clearly for the wonderful experience as a father and the bond you have created also within the family. Now we will move to Mr. Insa Mensah. Please, can you come on now?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I hope you are hearing me.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, let me say that the trajectory of my professional career as a librarian started from University of Cape Coast in 1979, where I did 10 years at that time. But when I joined the National Energy Board in Accra, that used to be the technical wing of the Ministry of Energy, and got married. We started raising a family. Worked for 20 years. Then moved to the Council for Social Research, Institute of Scientific and Technological Information. There too, I was there for 20 years, from 1998 to 2008. It was
Look.
Right.
Sir, could you reposition yourself? It looks as if your connection is not very, very strong. Actually, we have lost him. So I think you continue.
You've lost it.
Hello.
Hello.
Please, can you hear us? Please, can you switch off your camera, at least for now, whilst we try to see if your connection will improve. Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
Please, can you hear me? Hello.
Sir, we can
Yes.
hear you. Sir.
We can hear
you very loud and clear.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Well, when I joined CSIR, I had a very understanding and supportive wife, and we enjoyed the 3 girls and the boy. We educated them, and we wanted them to at least pursue whatever programs that they enjoyed. We never forced any of our children to pursue any program. Incidentally, both of us happen to be scientists, and none of our children pursued science. We encourage them to pursue whatever they considered or areas that they were interested in. It was when I moved to Cape Coast that the boy also joined me. He was then at Adesada College, and later on pursued Bachelor of Commerce degree at the University of Cape Coast. So I was with him on campus. Hello.
Prof, we are hearing you. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I was with a boy on campus, and whatever he did, we discussed it. With the girls, when they were pursuing their programs, I served as their editor, especially when it came to writing their project work. They will submit their proposals. I'll go through, discuss it with them, and every chapter that they wrote, I edited it before they submitted. So at a point, my wife kept teasing me that I've done law, I've done BCom, I'm doing risk management and all that, because all along we have provided the editorial services that they need, and really enjoyed it. On campus, as a university librarian, I had the support of my staff and the administration. So at least for a start, this is what I will say.
Thank you very, very much. At least from the three experiences we have heard from, we are beginning to realize that although you were in full flight professionally, none of them also left behind or played a second fiddle the need to have a family that was strong, a family that was good. And so we are realizing how all of them were real fathers and not, I would say, virtual fathers to their kids. They were real, they were there for them, they were there supporting whatever they were doing, their decisions they children took, they directed their affairs very well. So that is a very good experience for us. Those of us who are listening here and who are fathers and fathers to be. It shows that no matter how demanding our work will be, we need to make sure the family also ranks ahead of all of that and will always be there. Like I said, I want us to have a family discussion. So please, as and when we go ahead, please, you can be placing your comments in the chat. And then you can be noting certain things down. So when the time comes up for open discussions and I open the floor, I expect that people would come in and make their contributions on certain observations or whatever they have that they want to talk about. Now the number is still going up. We are over 100 now. All right, so now let me just ask if they could tell us what their happiest moments have been. First, happiest moment as professionals and then as fathers. I want you to recollect and see the happiest moments you had as fathers and then first as professionals, as librarians or as professionals, wherever you are, and then the happiest moments you can recollect as fathers. So again, we would want to start off with, let's start off with Professor Badu now.
Yeah, thank you. The happiest moment when I was the university librarian of BAM Library was we had some visitors from South Africa who had been to the library before I was appointed the librarian. And then they paid a visit on a second occasion and saw the difference that I had made in the library. They saw the big transformation. So they quickly rushed to my office to come and congratulate me. And one of them said something which actually touched my heart. He said that I was here some 4 years ago and I saw the poor state of this library. But since you've been here just 2 years and we've been back, I've noticed the biggest change. And I'm suggesting that you should put a statue in front of that library for you and remove that BAM's statue. In fact, I was really tight. A second person came from Holland who had come to do some research in our African studies section. That man also came to my office to express the same sentiments, that he wanted to know the man who had transformed the library. And in fact, these two things made me so happy. There were a lot of fringe benefits for us as librarians in the University of Ghana. Some of the benefits that the Vice Chancellor enjoyed, we also did. But then these two events were the happiest moments that I had as a librarian. Then as a father, there have been so many things that I have enjoyed. So I'll mention them one by one, child by child. The happiest moment for the first girl was when they detected some problem, some medical problem with her. And we were all expecting the worst. But then when she was referred to a higher hospital, they realized that the first diagnosis was very bad, but it wasn't as bad as we thought. In fact, That day I was so relieved and was so happy. Then when it comes to the boy, he got himself involved in some traffic offense. And I had to even leave Ghana to go and sort that thing out. And God being so good, we were able to stop them from sending him to jail. And then the matter actually died down after all the necessary payments were made. I was very, very happy. And when it comes to my last born, Ellis Jr., the happiest moment I had about him was when he passed his mathematics. Because the first time he went to Achimota school, the first time he didn't pass. But the second time, he rather even over excelled. And I was very, very happy. And as a group, or as all of us, I think the happiest moment too that I had was when the three of them visited me when I was hospitalized in London together. And they prayed before my surgery and all that. In fact, I still have the video and I keep on watching, playing it back. So basically, these are the happiest moments that I've had with my children and also had in BAM Library.
Thank you very, very much, Prof. I guess the fathers are listening and noting down their moments of joy. Probably in the future, we also call on them to tell us the happiest moments they had while they were working as professionals and when they were active in their permanent roles as fathers.
Tomorrow, okay, morning before you.
All right, so now let's go to Alaji. Please, Alaji, we also want to know your most thrilling moments as a father and as a librarian. Please, can you unmute and share with us? Your most thrilling moments as a father and as a librarian. Our challenges with our internet connections. Okay, so whilst Alaji is not available online, I can't see him now. I think we have lost his connection. Please, Ms. Ensa, can you tell us how you have felt your happiest moments as a librarian and as a father? Please, if you have challenges with the camera, you can keep up the picture, the video, and then we will just listen to you via the voice.
Open the link. I can just put my name.
Mensa, please, are you here? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah. As a librarian, since I served on the awards committee, that's scholarship committee on campus, my happiest moment has always been my ability to advocate and get awards for my staff to continue their professional development by way of educating themselves to their highest level of capabilities. The senior members, I encourage them to go for their postgraduate courses, and I'm very happy when I'm able to get them sponsorship The same way, when it comes to junior and senior staff, I always make sure that I get our due so that they can enhance their professional development skills. As a father, I feel very proud when the children graduate. And together with my better half, we've always been at their graduation ceremony. So briefly, I would say that these are the happiest moments that I really enjoyed as a professional, as a librarian, and a father. Thank you.
Thank you
Hello.
very much, Mr. Mensah. Yeah, I've heard you very loud and clearly. Your happiest moments when you had set out to make sure your staff development was top priority for you, and then also for the instances when you have been happy, very, very happy as a father at the graduation ceremonies, especially of your kids, when you had been there to see them come out with all their guns and their achievements, and I'm sure your hearts were almost bursting out of your chest on those occasions. So thank you very much. I don't know if Mr. Alhaji Ibrahim is here with us now. I'm still not seeing him online. Okay. Okay. Please, can you also share with us your happiest moments as a professional librarian and as a father?
Please, he's talking, but the mic is still mute.
Elijah is muted.
Please unmute yourself and speak.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please, can you? Okay.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, please.
Good.
Please go ahead.
As I was saying, when I became the university librarian, I wanted to join SCHOLAR. SCHOLAR is Standing Conference of African Libraries, Western area, encompassing university libraries in West Africa and Cameroon. But SCHOLAR was moribund. So INASP, which is International Network for the Availability of Scientific Publications, contacted Professor Kisiedu to identify a university librarian who will be able to revive SCHOLAR. Professor Mrs. Kisiedu recommended me. That was in 1999. INASP provided the funding, and with the support of my colleague university librarians, especially Mrs. Bannerman, Dr. and Mrs. Asamoah Hassan, and Mr. Amankwa, we were able to revive SCHOLAR. In 2001, SCHOLAR voted me unanimously as the president of the association, and I was re-elected 2003 as its president. So reviving SCHOLAR was a major achievement for me and the library profession in Ghana and West Africa. Then, as a father, My last son, baby last, called Sadiq, 2005, was part of the winning team of the Achimota that won the Maths and Science Brilliant competition. He gained admission to US the same year, that is 2005, to MIT, the most prestigious technical university in the world. He graduated successfully 2009 and was admitted to do a straight PhD at Dartmouth College. The PhD was for 5 years. He did it in 4 years. That's a long story short. At the age of 26, my last born has obtained his PhD in engineering. So that has been my happiest moment as a father. And then the next one, my eldest son became a professor 3 years ago, United Arab Emirates, which is also a major achievement for me and the family. So in a nutshell, these two things are the most important things to me as a father and as a librarian.
Thank you very much, Alaji. What I am noticing from all the three answers is that when I ask them questions about their happiest moments as professionals and the happiest moments as fathers, I realized the list of happier moments for fathers were all longer than the list of happier moments as a professional. So it tells me that they really were into the fatherhood profession. They really were happy as fathers more often than they were as professionals. So it shows that these people never underestimated or took for granted their responsibilities as fathers in the home. Although they were fathers others outside as well, they all saw to it that their families never lacked their fatherhood experience. And they were more happier moments as fathers than they had as professionals. At this point, I want to introduce a co-moderator who is with our AAU TV programs. She's in the person of Lydia Nyame. So she will be sharing with me in moderating. And so I would let her take the next few questions as I do the technical support in the background. So at this point, Lydia, I want you to take over and then you ask the subsequent questions, whilst I'll be here to support.
Okay, please. Mr. Abednego, thank you very much for this opportunity. Please, we'll move to our next question. And please, can you share with us the challenging moments for you as a father? Would like to start with Mr. Clement Mensah.
Well, hello. Hello.
Please,
Hello, sir. We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, please.
Well, the challenging moment as a father has to do with me leaving the family and relocating to Cape Coast to take up the appointment as a university librarian.
Okay.
That was the most challenging moment. But at the end of the day, I sat down with my better half, my wife, who understood the life that we had to lead, I mean, through separation. But that also meant that we had to arrange to see ourselves either every other week. And we all know the dangers entailed in traveling up and down.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can say that this is one of the challenging moments that I had to go through when I relocated and took up the appointment as a university librarian.
Oh, okay. Mr. Clement, thank you very much. Can we also have Alhaji Ibrahim also share his experience with us, his challenges being a father?
Yeah, my major challenge was when I lost my adopted in 1996 to leukemia.
Oh.
He was such a brilliant young girl. Primary 6, he had leukemia.
Okay.
Within 1 year, he had died. So that was my most challenging experience as a father.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And last, we'll take Professor Ellis Bedu. Please, can you also share your challenges with us?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My biggest challenge actually was not when I was in BAM Library. It was when I became very, very ill. I had surgery here in Legon Hospital, which went very bad. So I had to be rushed to London. And I was hospitalized for 3 months without food or water. And my children had to come to me. The one in Ghana had to fly there to stay by my bedside. And in fact, it was one of the worst periods of my life. And I have pictures which I look through, and sometimes I even cry, because when I was going to the surgical ward in London, and these children had tears in their eyes, it was something that was really, really putting me down. But thank God, the surgery was successful. Another challenging moment for me, for the boy in London, who is now a vice principal, was when, after his first degree, he didn't even finish. He was in Kingston University. When he decided that he was no more interested in computer science, he wanted to do pharmacy. In fact, I really had to fly from Ghana to London to convince him, which didn't work. And he stopped and stayed at home for nearly 1 year. Then through prayers and other people getting involved, he changed his mind and went back to continue and finish his first degree in computer science. Okay. So these were my challenging moments as a father.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Bob. And we are very sorry you had to go through that. But we're also happy and glad everything is okay now. So we'll move to our next question. And it says, we want you to share your challenging moments as a librarian. I'll start with Alhaji Ibrahim.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Madam Moderator. There was a TALIF project, a World Bank project. TALIF, as an acronym, stands for Teaching and Learning Innovation Fund.
Okay.
UDS took advantage of the TALIF project.
Okay.
I, as a university librarian, initiated 2 projects for the library. One for textbooks and one for library automation.
Okay.
This was accepted by the Vice Chancellor. About 2 weeks to the time of submission of the proposals, I sent circular to the deans and heads of departments to send in additional book titles for us to process and add to the list.
Okay.
I copied the Vice Chancellor. He was furious to him I had delayed. He issued me with a query, which was hand-delivered personally by the Pro-Vice Chancellor. In the query, he stated that I was sabotaging him and copied the University Council chairman. Immediately, I got the query. It was a Friday. I mobilized my staff. We all came to work on Saturday. By Monday morning, the list was ready. Then I replied to his query.
Okay.
That collection, development, or acquisition is a process. That I had already requested the deans to submit list of titles earlier.
Okay.
But I want another second chance to update the list.
Okay.
And in my concluding response, I drew the Vice Chancellor's attention that before he became the Vice Chancellor, the university had then ordered pickups and a bus.
Okay.
The library opted for a library bus. When the vehicles arrived, the Vice Chancellor quickly released the pickups to the deans and retained my bus for about 3 years. So the query gave me the opportunity to draw University Council's attention that the Vice Chancellor had denied me the use of the library bus. And because he has queried me, the next time when the books arrive, he will tell me that I have not dispatched the books. So he should be made to release the library bus to me. Within 1 week, the bus had been labeled University Library, UDS, and I got my library back.
Oh.
So a challenge turned into a positive thing.
Oh, that was some really challenging situation you got yourself involved in. We'll quickly listen to what Professor Bedu also has to say on his challenges being a librarian.
Okay, thank you. My biggest challenge, I had a few challenges because, you know, when I took over as librarian, the BAM library was in a very, very bad state.
Yes.
And, you know, I realized that I had to do a lot of politics to get the library problems sorted out. And I had a lot of challenges because apparently the head or director of PDMSD, which has to do with estate and development, was not very happy about BAM Library because he had had a few arguments and confrontations in the past. So BAM Library was not too much on his heart. So I had to go through a lot to convince him and to make him toe our line and to actually yield to making the necessary provisions for us to develop the library. However, my biggest challenge was when I had a very serious confrontation with the Vice Chancellor.
Okay.
You see, I set up a canteen. Before I set up the canteen, I had read documents about the extension of the BAM Library building, which included a canteen. And on some of my visits to South Africa and other places, they all had canteens in the libraries.
Okay.
So I set up a canteen in consultation with the sanitation people and then the director of PDMSD. Then one day, I was there when we used to have a secretary to the library. Now they don't have it anymore. I think it was Lucy Aye. When she called me and told me that he met the Vice Chancellor going on a walk, and the Vice Chancellor was querying her why we had a canteen in the library. If you should have a canteen, it should not be in the library. So I told Lucy, who was not a librarian, that look, having a canteen is now part of librarianship. The philosophy behind that is this: it will stop people from leaving their books to go and walk to maybe Liman or to go and eat and then come back. When they go, they wouldn't come back. Because when I introduced the canteen, it had increased patronage over 100%. the library was more or less flooded with people. So the Vice Chancellor decided to bring this to one of our meetings. We used to have what you call a Monday morning meeting, where all the directors and heads of units met to discuss the progress in their units. So he brought this to the Monday morning meeting. You see, the Vice Chancellor was a personal friend of mine. We were all in KNUST together. So I was hoping that if he had found something in my administration which wasn't good, he would call me and then let us even discuss it out of, public. But he didn't do that. He decided to bring it to Monday morning meeting to more or less to lambast me.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I also got very, very angry. So we did a lot of exchange. First, he started basing his argument on the fact that, I didn't consult the sanitation. I said, no. Unfortunately, the director of works was there, Azundo. And Azundo told him that, sir, he did. He consulted us. We sent people, the hygienic people, to go there and make sure that the site was okay, the architecture was okay, and everything was okay. So we actually okayed that canteen. Then he said that, oh, no, you've never seen a library. You've never seen a library with a canteen.
Okay.
And, I had support from some of the directors who knew that these days librarians had eating places within the library setup so that they don't get up and go. So, in fact, the argument was so heated that I got up, left the meeting, and banged the door. That was the biggest challenge. And eventually, we had to close the canteen down.
Oh, that's bad. Well,
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, Prof, I want to find out what instigated this canteen in the library initiative in the first place.
What instigated it?
Yes, please.
No, I don't understand the question. Are you talking about the reason behind it?
Yes, please.
Oh, the reason behind it is what I said earlier. You see, some of the libraries that we visited, especially we went to Stellenbosch in South Africa, and also we went to Wits. They all had canteens. Okay. And the philosophy is that when somebody is learning, and let's assume that his hall is at Liman, from Bam Library to Liman is very far. Okay. So if there is canteen, and it is well positioned, it is well managed, the person goes to it and then goes back to his or her books. Okay. That is the philosophy behind it. And even in some of the universities that we visited in the UK, the bookshops had canteens. The bookshops, they had canteens. And the philosophy is that the person is learning or he's come to the bookshop, going back is very far. And then it will actually disturb his learning. He will have to leave, maybe even get a bus to where he's going, and then he will not come back. And the idea is that we have a lot of books, we have a lot of information, which we want people to read. So if somebody has to leave because of food, then you take the food to his doorstep.
Yeah.
And it was working. It was not disturbing our functions in any way. There were no cockroaches, there were no mice. The place was well fumigated, and it was very well done. The food was prepared somewhere, and they just brought there to heat up, to put it in microwave. So it was not disturbing in any way. And the canteen was more or less detached from the main reading rooms. Okay. So I didn't point in any way whatsoever. I didn't see his point at all.
Oh. Well, that's quite sad. We'll finally take a final submission from Mr. Clement Mensah. Would want you to share with us your challenging moments as a librarian.
Thank you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you.
Well, as Prof. Ellis said, I had a lot of challenges, but the most challenging one has to do with the night shift, the extension of working hours beyond 10 p.m. during examination period. Here, I want to commend my predecessor, Mr. Marty. He introduced that in UCC, and UCC was the first university in the country to have started it. That is, during the examination period, we ran 3 shifts. And that brought with it extra cost.
Okay.
The staff had to be paid. And when I took over as a university librarian, the staff who worked in the previous year hadn't been paid.
Okay.
So the union members came to me and said they were not going to undertake that program again. They will only work when they get their salary and also get the assurance that they will be paid when they work.
Okay.
Those took me to the director of finance, the director of audit, the pro-vice chancellor. I had to finally see the vice chancellor.
Okay.
And I was able to get her to invite the team for us to sit down and brainstorm.
Okay.
We did that, and the university paid the outstanding salaries, allowances, or whatever. And going forward, I had to negotiate that a percentage of their salary should be paid to them on monthly basis.
Okay.
To forestall that bulk payment. Because usually when you prepare these allowances and the other staff see that the libraries, they are going to get this jealousy steps in. So I worked it out in such a way that every month they had a percentage of their salary paid to them as allowance.
Okay.
And that resolved the problem with staff working third shift during end of term examinations. And during that period that I was negotiating with the vice chancellor and the management team, the vice chancellor called me aside and said, and that she's met. Hello?
Hello, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the vice chancellor told me that she's met a foreign delegation who had told her that there is some funding that could be the university could access. Meanwhile, we were left with barely a week to submit the proposal.
Oh.
And that day, the vice chancellor was traveling to France for a meeting.
Okay.
And she told me that, to be honest with me, she's looked around and he feels that I can help the university access the fund.
Oh, okay.
So the challenge was for me to write a proposal. And I looked her in the face. I told her, no problem.
Okay.
It's a challenge, and I have to make sure that at least I'm able to undertake that assignment.
Okay.
She left for Paris, and I sat down straight after the meeting, and by 3 a.m.,
Okay.
I finished with the proposal and sent it to her through her email address.
Oh, wow.
In fact, when she got up in the morning, she called me and said, look, I have at least I've been able to meet the challenge that she asked me to handle, and that she was going to forward it to the organization that was giving out these funds to support ICT infrastructure in the university.
Okay.
Fortunately, they did, and we were able to get $250,000.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And just around the time that money came in, our ICT center, the main hub of the university ICT, the servers got bent. There was fire outbreak, the servers got bent. And even though the library was supposed to benefit from the resource, the amount that we've been able to get to establish ICT training centers and disability training centers using computers and all that, we had to make sure that the university had new servers for the ICT center.
Okay.
And I felt that at least I've been able to address these challenges.
Okay. Mr. Clement, thank you very much for sharing with us your challenges and experience. At this point, I'll hand over to my co-moderator, Mr. Abednego Quality.
So we're continuing. So we are really realizing that there have been extremely difficult, challenging situations in the lives of all our panelists, both as professionals and as fathers. But in all this, we are also realizing that they were able to come out tops, whatever the situation had been. And that has been good experiences for them. But we here today are also learning, and I'm sure we are going to benefit from the way they had handled those difficult situations and bring them to bear in our course of action, both as professionals in the field of knowledge management and also as fathers who are having their family, the home to take care of. Let me just ask again from our panelists. Now I want them to tell us what guiding principles they would want to leave for those who are currently fathers in the profession. What guiding principles would you want to share with us as we have just commemorated the Father's Day celebration? And like it was said by somebody that I listened to, it says there are many people who are called men or who are described as men, but only a few can be called real fathers. And we are having the experiences of some real fathers on our panels now. So please, could you share with us some guiding principles that you would want to have for those fathers who are here with us and the would-be fathers, so that they are able to walk through life and not flounder at any point or become more professionals and less fathers, or less fathers, more fathers and less professional? How would you want to guide us with your challenges? Probably we'll start off with Mr. Intervention, since he's still available online now.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Well, as a father, I will always say that you should always remember that you have a wife or a husband. So in parenting, it's the two of you who should be responsible in bringing up the children. And you should also bear in mind that children are very crafty. They will always want to play one parent against the other. So in all things, as parents, you as a father, you should sit down with the wife, the mother, to discuss issues that the children will bring up. Usually, they will either come to you as a father, make a presentation, they want
Yeah, I've lost him. All right, let's continue. Professor Bedu, please, are you here? Can you share with us any guiding principles you want to have for fathers who are now at post and working?
Alaji.
Okay, Alaji is here. Please, Alaji, can you go ahead and give us your guiding principles for working fathers now? Please unmute yourself. Good.
Are you with me?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Right. As a responsible father, you will be fair and fair to your children. Don't discriminate. Provide their needs within your budgets. If you are not able to satisfy them, you need to explain things to them. And when they go wrong, you draw their attention and explain to them why they have gone wrong. And as a father, don't toy with the education of your children. Your priority is to educate your children to be successful, but not to pamper them.
Okay.
Provide the basic needs. Let them know there are challenges in this world, and challenges have to be dealt with. You don't need to run away from challenges. So in a nutshell, as a father, you have to be a responsible father. Guide them, direct them, and then don't neglect the role of your wife. Team up with your wife in managing the children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They are still not online. Thank you very much, Alaji, for the guiding principle. So as fathers who are still at post and the fathers to be, that's a very good advice coming from somebody who has seen it all and has successfully carried out his fatherly responsibilities and is now rejoicing. We heard about the happy moments that he said he had with his kids. I'm sure they bring him a lot of joy every day of the week when he thinks about all the pain and challenges he has gone through. But he is telling us the guiding principles that has allowed him to come to the point where he is and how he is now enjoying the benefits of his work. Whilst we are waiting for the others to be connected, he can unmute. Can
Are
I
you
mute?
doing it?
No, I can't do it from here. I had to mute all other ones because there were those in the background. Please, Prof, if you can hear us, just click on the unmuting button so that you can unmute yourself and click on the microphone and unmute yourself, please. There were too many people who had put on their microphone, so I had to mute everyone to prevent the feedbacks.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Mensah, please, if you are back, could you continue? Mr. Mensah, please, could you unmute yourself and continue?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm okay now. So ask your question again.
Yeah, I was asking if you could give us some guiding principles for will-be fathers and fathers who are at post now.
Oh,
Guiding
okay.
principles that will help them manage.
Yes. The first thing is love. You must love your children unconditionally, no matter what they do. I had bad experiences with those in London. The boy, the way he was behaving, he won't go to school. But you see, as a father, I was all the time interested in him. I never got angry with him. It was more of encouraging him, advising him, sometimes even to the state of begging him to stop what he's doing. You see, I had such love for him. So no matter what he did, I never got angry with him. You know, some fathers sometimes get angry and even sack their children from home. Look, mine was to the extreme, the most extreme provocation. But I never got angry to understand that I was probably going to abandon him. I always kept on supporting him financially, through advice. Sometimes I'll call people to talk to him and all that. And it paid off. So I think the best thing is the guiding principle is to have love for your children. In fact, I love my children so much so that no matter what they do, the girl did something recently, which was very bad. I wouldn't like to say it here. But then, you know what I did? I found a need that she had, and they met that need. So all the relatives were astonished that, hey, if this girl did this, and the father has gone out of his way to also do this, then what kind of love is this? And you know, that thing had a serious bearing on her. And now, even when she sends me text, she always add that, Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I love you. Even yesterday, when we were discussing my brother's death and all that, after all the messages she wrote, she brought, Daddy, I love you. You know, because what she did was so bad that most fathers would have quarreled with her. But I didn't. I rather encouraged her. I rather specifically tell you what I did. She wanted to buy her flat. I sent her money, huge sum of money. I changed nearly 200,000 Ghana cedis to go and support her, to the astonishment of everybody who knew our story. So love is very, very important. It's very, very important. And also, one thing that I've noticed is that these children keep on comparing your love for each other. So as I said that I sent this girl money, the boy there, despite the fact that he's on his own and making it, he expressed some sentiments about that. So I promised him that his was also on the way. I think that sometimes you should watch all those things. There's a slight jealousy between siblings. So if you also sort of take sides, you take one person and then do things for that person, the others will get hurt.
So you need to balance the benefits. So when I realized my son was commenting on what I did, I promised him he's getting married in February. I promised him that, look, I was going to support his wedding in London. I promised him. So now he's calmed down. And then the one here also got to know that this one here is going to be his best man. I told the one here that, look, I'm going to sponsor you. You're going to stay with your brother for some time and then be his best man. And I'm going to fund the tickets and everything. So you need to create that kind of balance. You should get that balance as far as benefits are concerned. Equal benefits. And then also, as I said, love is important. You need to put your children first. You need to put your children first. No matter the circumstances, you need to put them first. Never be angry to the extent that some people will even sack you from the house. I had that experience with my dad. I think after sixth form, he wanted me to do something. He wanted me to go into agriculture, but I wasn't an agriculture guy. So he said he was going to sack me from the house. So I was never happy with him at that time because I wanted to have my own way, because at that time I thought I was matured enough to choose my profession. But he wanted me to go into agric. He said a friend of his was an agricultural officer, he was making it, and I should go into agric. I would not do that to my children. I'd rather encourage them. I won't be angry and tell them that I'm going to sack you from the house. Never will I do that. So that is all that I've got to say.
Thank you very much, Prof. Mr. Nsamensah, we lost you halfway along the road. So I don't know if you kindly continue for us. We lost you when you were talking about the need to make sure that your partner or your wife is also involved in all the decisions you take as a father. Please unmute yourself and you can continue for us.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, as I was saying, children are very crafty. They always want to play one parent against the other. If they want something, they'll go and ask the mother. And when the mother asks them whether the father, they've asked the father, they will tell her yes. And they will also come to the father and tell the father what they want. And if the father tries to find out whether they had discussed it with their mother, they will say yes. So in our home, I told my wife that we are going to have the democratic system. We will vote. We know the children outnumber us. There are 3, we are 2. But I will have the casting votes. And hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Hello.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. I will always have the casting votes. And they will always try to play me against their mother so that I'll be on their side. And whatever issues that crops up, the 2 of us will discuss it, take a decision before we call them. But most of the time, we also make sure that whatever things that we are doing, or whatever intentions that we have for them, we will sit down with them, discuss it with them, and when they are satisfied, then we go ahead with the implementation. At least we give them the benefit of the doubt. And this has really worked out for us as a family. They are able to come to us to discuss issues with us, we always advise them that the best advice that they can get is from their parents and not from friends. So whatever their friends tell them, they come, we sit down, discuss, and we at least show them the way. This has worked for us as a family.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are all learning. We are all learning various ways we can act as fathers while at post. And very soon, I'll be opening the floor for people to come in with their comments. I would also come in with two questions. I will still want to ask those questions. First one would be on advice that you will give to those who are currently the heads of their departments. They are librarians at post now. What advice you will give them with reference to succession plans for those who will take over from them? How they are mentoring others to take up their positions when they leave the scene. If there are any guiding principles for them so they can mentor those who are under them to be able to come up and wear their shoes when they leave the scene. That is question number one. And the other question I also want to have some guidance on is about the relevance of the course content now at the library school, with particular reference to the marketing needs now, the current trends in IT, the way knowledge is being managed now. How relevant or how useful is the current curriculum that is being taught at the library school? And whether there's a way we can look at changing the content. Somebody's making so loud. Let's see who is giving us all the noise. So please, these questions will come later on. Just be thinking about them. I want this one to be a question, so anybody can make contributions to them. But the next question I want to ask before I come to that, and then to open the floor very soon for others to come in and share with us. It's looking at your situation now as librarians and who are in retirement. We would want to know what your challenges are as professionals in retirement, and how you are handling them. And then probably we also to see who is online and is not supposed to talk. Okay. So please, we want to know how you are handling the situation now as people in retirement, the challenges you are facing and how you are handling them. And for those of us who are here, as we listen in, let's see how we can also find a way to support our founding fathers who are in retirement now, if there's any. And when I say support, I don't necessarily mean financial support. Sometimes that is not what they need at all. It might be just visiting them to give them encouragement and to see how they are faring in their homes. So when I mean help out, I don't mean financial helping out. I mean how other ways, which other ways in kind or which other ways we can use to make them feel at home and still feel a part of us who are still at post now. So we want to start off with Professor Bedu. Please, could you tell us or share with us your experiences as a person in retirement now and the challenging ones and how you are handling them? Please unmute and okay, good.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Good. Okay. You know, my situation is a little bit different, and it will be my answer will be different from that of the other panelists because I'm still teaching at the department.
Okay.
So what I'm experiencing will be different from what Mr. Ntramensa and Ibrahim are experiencing.
Okay.
I'm back at the department, and I have about probably 4 more years as a teacher. What I'm currently doing is that I'm trying to help the new head of department to restructure the curricula. Because as you were saying, things are a little bit different now. So those of us, the old men now, we have taken it upon ourselves to help the HOD to actually look at current trends and then do a few modifications. So that is what I'm responsible for. I'm the chair of the committee that is looking at that. So I don't have any serious challenges. The personal challenges that I've had was, as I said earlier, how I was hospitalized and all that. But by the grace of God, I'm much stronger now. You know, so I don't have any serious challenges at the moment. It's just a health issue, but now it's everything is fine.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. And I'm happy to hear that already there is some restructuring going on with particular reference.
Yes, I'll comment on that later.
All right.
When
all right.
We get there, yes.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Ms. Entry, please, can you also share with us your experiences now in retirement and the challenges you may be facing, if there are any, and how you are handling them?
Hello, are you hearing me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right. My children encouraged me to set up a consultancy firm, but they realized that I'm into research and publications. So I set up a scholarly editing and publishing services. I edit publications, theses, for example, theses, dissertations, theses, academic papers for a fee. My children advised me and I've set it up. So once in a while, I get orders from individuals. And I don't want to stray myself. I have a team. So I distribute the work to experienced people, retired people, to assist, and I pay them accordingly. I also consult for the National Accreditation Board as a library consultant. I'm in charge of library accreditation in Ashanti region, Bono East region, and Ahafo region. So this keeps me somehow busy. Of course, in retirement, I have less money, but you reap what you sow. My children are well educated. 3 of them are outside the country. They are well paid. So constantly every month, I get support from the children. Only last month, they replaced our vehicle with a 3.5 4x4 Kia vehicle. So my children have been supportive, especially with our finances. Challenges. Now that I have less money, I attend more funerals, more weddings, more adulting. So you can imagine the strain. Less money, more functions. So these are the few things I can talk about, which keep me busy in retirement.
Thank you very much, Alaji. I like that one. Less money, more functions. That will help drain your pocket faster. Thank you very much. Mr. Ntramensa, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, since I shuttle between Accra and Commander, I and colleagues who have retired in Commander have formed the Town Development Association. And our responsibility has been to lobby for development for the town. In fact, this is one activity that I had been doing over the years. And I felt that I should bring on board colleagues who have also retired. So we lobby for development projects for the town. Then I also offer my services to the universities and the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research in assessing promotion papers for their staff. By way of encouragement, I always, from time to time, I visit the university librarian and the senior members there, especially those who have the potential to take up higher responsibilities. I mentor them, encourage them, talk to them. And as we all know, in the universities, for you to progress, you need to publish. And that is, the University of Cape Coast Library is considered academic. The staff in the library, the senior members are considered academic.
Can I see? Okay. I don't know if others have also experienced the same. Looks as if we have experienced a power outage, but
were sleeping, I vaguely heard you whisper sounds